Every few months I feel like I've lost the ability to be funny. I can't write new jokes. It's terrifying. Why does this happen? And then I just wrote Captain Crunch but goth. Okay, here's something that's changed my life. Every morning, before I get breakfast,
Yeah, I have a mobile order.
the first thing that I do, I take my Adderall. But after that, I sit down and I do morning pages. Not here. This is just for the video.
But I want to talk about journaling.
I want to tell you why I love journaling. I want to give you tips for how you can fall in love with journaling too. And then at some point, I'm going to shoehorn a pretty dumb metaphor into all of this.
Hey, shut up. Filming a video, dude.
One of my favorite parts of journaling is getting to look back at old journals. I have all of my notebooks and journals from high school, college, and beyond. I have not looked at them in a little while, and so I thought I would see what's in here. I'm nervous. I feel like I haven't gotten any work done this week. Boy, oh boy. Some things never change.
There's this line in Dracula where a character says that she likes journaling because it's like getting to eavesdrop on a conversation with yourself. And that's such a great way of putting it. That is what it feels like. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm feeling until I get it down on pages. Or I don't want to admit how I'm feeling. And sometimes it's easier first thing in the morning to write it down on paper. And then as I'm writing, I'm realizing and I'm seeing what I'm writing and like, oh, that is what I feel.
Could you imagine what would happen if ISIS got a hold of Flubber? What if people could smell how depressed you are? When will my reflection show someone who has self-control at Chipotle? I love hearing writers talk about the discovery that can happen during the writing process. Certain authors who say, sometimes I don't even fully know what they think about a topic until they start writing about it.
The writing is the discovery process. It's the getting it out on paper. It's getting all of these thoughts into words.
Dear future me, sorry about the diarrhea. When I was a kid and I found out my great-grandma died, my first question was, how is she going to give me $5 from heaven? Because every time she would see me, she'd give me $5 when I would hug her. And so then when she died, my first question was, how is she going to get me $5? What a selfish child. I've always heard about the artist's way. I've heard different creatives talk about how helpful it's been for getting unstuck. And so this year I've been going through it. And one of the things it asks you to commit to is every day doing morning pages. Committing to each morning when you get up, writing 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing. It can be about anything at all. Just dump all of your thoughts out on paper. I really like the stream of consciousness because I feel like it helps me get out of my own way. I don't have to make it pretty. I don't have to make it perfect. If I have nothing on my mind and I'm not feeling like writing in the morning, I can write about that. I just spend the first page wasting words, just getting it out. I do not care. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. It has been crazy the number of times where once I get to the second page, something else starts coming out and more words and something I didn't even realize I needed to write about comes out. Oh, I had a friend once tell me that he thought eating was boring and that like infuriated me. Eating should not be boring. It should be exciting and dangerous. If you're doing it right, eating can be an extreme sport.
Journaling is supposed to be the most low pressure writing that you do. It is not for anyone else. No one else is going to see it. You're not even necessarily going to look at it again for a long time. You're just writing your morning pages and then putting them away. The process of writing is the whole point. Have fun. Just let it all out. Journaling should be like the playground of writing. It's just for you. It's just for you.
Doing stand-up in Lufkin, I said, I'm going to tell you the story of my first kiss. A kid yelled, your mom doesn't count. And I said, no, but yours does. My friend Peter Pignon is a counselor and coach, and I've heard him use the metaphor of talking about inviting somebody over to your house. And how sometimes there are days where you do not want to invite somebody over because your house is such a mess. There is no clean place for them to sit down. You're going to be preoccupied. They're not going to feel comfortable. You want to clean up first. You want to make sure everything is put away and nice. That way, when you invite that person over, we can all relax. It is easy. There is space to host them. And he compares that to our own minds. How sometimes it is so cluttered and messy, it feels like an explosion has happened. I am so preoccupied with all these thoughts and fears and everything else going on that it feels like I am not a good host.
And being a good listener feels like being a good host. You are inviting them in. You are actively engaging in this conversation. And there are times where I do not feel like I can pull that off. And writing my morning pages has been one of the most beneficial ways for me to declutter my mind, to make room for thoughts, for questions, for me to process things, for me to be curious about other people. When everything's just living up here, there is no room for me to think about anybody else. I am too occupied with me. But when I get it out in morning pages, Current problems, January 21st, 2018. Number 1, my farts smell like rotten eggs. This isn't my normal smell. Number 2, I think I pulled a muscle bowling yesterday. My right hip/butt cheek hurts a lot. Number 3, living in my van is getting on my nerves. I want to chill and hang somewhere. That's a home. There's also this great book called Opening Up by Writing It Down. This book right here, all about how we can journal through our traumatic experiences, and journaling can be one of the things that helps us process and deal with it. And it is like working out a knot in your muscle. Like when you go to massage therapists and they like really dig in and you feel that knot start to loosen and open up, that's what I feel happens sometimes to me when I'm journaling. It's like emotionally working out a knot in my heart. One reason we often obsess about a disturbing experience is that we are trying to understand it. An efficient way to understanding something is to talk about it, to translate it into words. If we don't talk about it, we continue to think about it. And if we keep ruminating about it, we have fewer mental resources to think about other things. This helps explain why people under stress often have memory problems and are less attentive to changes in themselves and others. Hey, have you been changing and you didn't even notice? Maybe you should journal. I started reading old journal entries yesterday. I want to get caught up to reading today's date from a year ago. I want to track my experience, my plans, goals, and see how it all shook out. It's one big game of dramatic irony where I'm reading from the future, where I know how so many things will work out. It's a great exercise. I see myself in those entries worrying about things that I would consider super small now, or working on things that I don't think are important anymore. You've got to look back. You've got to reflect. You have to stop and make sense of what you're experiencing before you go back to marching on. And I think that's good for us, you know? I want to jump off. I'm so scared I'm gonna hurt myself. Oh man, okay. I got scared. I got too scared. I got too scared. I got too scared. I got scared of my ankles. I got too scared for my ankles. That was too scary, my ankles.